sex education. Whether we like it or not, we have to give sex education to younger people. When and how will be determined by how we handle it. Sometimes we leave all of these things to teachers in school. And I say boldly that teachers, they have a way of giving good education to their students or pupils. But again, children must also learn from their parents. So when do you introduce sex education to young people? Then that depends on the rate of the maturity of the young people. And I tell people that some of the things you think the young people don't know, they know far more. Forget about the social media that has thrown open the world to everybody, and the world is empty. The world is empty, the world is naked. Now, even the popular media, the old media, they have opened the children to all sorts of things. Advertisements have been run in the newspapers and magazines and journals every day relating to sex-related products. Children are seeing musical videos that are displaying excessive romance or excessive social interaction between male and female. These are human beings, so children can pick it. And again, different children are from different homes and they meet in school. And when they meet in school, you have disciplined your children so much. Some children are not that disciplined. They discuss anything. Sometimes when they see their parents lock up the room in their house, they are peeping through the keyhole and trying to find out what they are doing. Sometimes they get very rude and ask their parents to open the door. Sometimes when they grow up to stay in their own room, if they have a room of their own, they find it difficult to dissociate from their father or mother, and they think they should still be part of them until they grow mature enough. And sometimes parents are so reckless that they just stay in the house assuming the children are sleeping and doing what they're not supposed to do in the presence of the child who is sleeping. I say presence because the child can wake up anytime. Like any human being, people can wake up and pretend to still be sleeping and be watching what is going on. So sex education is very important. The parents both, male and female, father and mother, should know when to introduce it to their children and let them know the implication of it and why it is forbidden unless they're mature and married. Well, that's a very difficult thing in the world of today, but that is the most decent thing that should be done because having sexual relationship with the opposite sex comes with a lot of responsibilities, not only pregnancy alone, social and emotional responsibilities. People get destroyed and go into drug for heartbreaks, and when children find themselves in the hand of who is supposed to love them and breaks their heart becomes a problem. So it comes with a lot of responsibilities, and that has to be explained to children. And it has no advantage whatsoever until you are mature enough. I've never had a situation where people who didn't have sex died because they didn't have sex. Now, so it's not food. It's important to let them know the pros and cons. And the most important thing is to remain disciplined in the journey up. And the teachers too, they play a very important role. But either way, the society will play a good role, but the society, it's also influencing so many things, especially bad things, relating to sex education among young people. Peer group pressure, it's also a key thing, and in the process of recreation and all that, everybody is sensitive. Co-educational schools, children interacting with each other and touching themselves in sensitive places make them to know that most probably it's a way to also relax. Sex is so interesting. Sometimes it's so free. All the time it's so free but the implication is so much that once people get introduced to it prematurely, they stuck to it and it destroys the path to the top. you know. So counseling is very important. The parents should strengthen their counseling. Even if they have made that mistake, they should not allow their children to fall into that mistake. There is nothing as good as very good marriage and very good home. If anybody deceives you that nothing beautiful in marriage, then the person don't know what they call beautiful life. Marriage is a very beautiful institution that you should encourage your children to be engaged in, regardless of your viewpoints. You know, because doesn't make sense moving around from men to men or women to women. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I may not be talking sense to you. Some religion tolerate marrying more than one wife. Yes, if your religion can tolerate that or your belief, yes, but it's also good to be disciplined, not the life of irresponsibility. So, and irresponsibility means moving from one place to the other without direction. As some children get engaged in this, and before you know what is going on, they have been all over the place behaving irresponsibly. So counseling will help. And of course, religious centers, they are playing a very important role. As you know, they play a very important role in taking this youth through very important aspects of their social life. So everybody must synchronize, everybody must work together to ensure that you have a decent society. Because if this sex education is not stretching, it leads to other things. It leads to excessive social living, alcoholism, it leads to drug abuse. Then it leads to corruption, people stealing to satisfy their illicit appetite. So, a part of the things you have to let the children know, or young people, is that they should see the future. Seeing the future is more important than cutting the journey to the future. So if they don't see the future, they'll be walking in the dark and cut the journey to the future. And you can show them good examples of those who have lived responsibly. The problem of the society now that we have now is that in every society that is disorganized, the disorganization comes from the family setting, and it comes from reckless living. People want to steal to satisfy their large appetite. People don't see what is wrong in doing what is wrong. And when we begin to correct this from the social angle, it becomes easy. You can leave your doors open. And people ask me, is that achievable? Yes, it is achievable. There are ages, and I've lived through that when we were younger, that we don't lock the doors to our home and nothing will happen. Somebody can enter my mom's kitchen and pick matches or anything, and they will report back. I came to your house, nobody was there, I picked matches. Today, people build houses like prison because the family system has been destroyed. And unless we go back to that, and once we go back to that, begin to straighten things up to the top. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do like and share.